It is estimated that 4.5 million more workers may be needed in the workforce over the next decade. UN News asked Michael Newson, Senior Program Coordinator for Migration and Sustainable Development at the International Organization for Migration in Kiev, Ukraine, how people could be encouraged to return home. Michael Newson IOM has observed an increase in the number of Ukrainians returning to Ukraine. Despite the ongoing war, numerous studies have shown that a large proportion of Ukrainians who have fled the country, especially those living in the European Union, plan to return when conditions allow. We can also expect that many of them will remain abroad in the long term. Available data suggest that Ukraine can expect a larger proportion of its population abroad to return than we have seen in other post-conflict settings. When and whether Ukrainians abroad return to the country will depend on a number of factors, including conditions in their countries of refuge and in Ukraine. The number of people choosing return to Ukraine will also depend on types of policies and programs the Ukrainian government and international community put in place encourage return. UNICEF and Ukraine Reconstruction efforts, including schools, are currently ongoing in Ukraine. UN News what conditions are needed to encourage people to return home. Michael Newson Security is of course an important criterion. Any stimulus program is likely to have limited impact until people feel safe and comfortable returning home. People want to have a sense of economic stability and security when they return so that they can provide for themselves and their families. Therefore, providing basic health and education services is of great importance. Developing programs that connect people abroad with job opportunities in Ukraine even before their return will go a long way in encouraging people to return to the country. Most often, we talk about providing financial incentives to return to cover the costs of returning and re-establishing oneself. After all, incentive packages need to reduce the risks that people perceive as returns. This includes security risks as well as economic risks and the risk of them not being able to return to their country of refuge if they choose reverse their decision. UN News how will IOM support Ministry of Economy in the process of reintegrating Ukrainians and ensuring a smooth return to labor market? Michael Newson These are kinds of conversations we are having right now with our colleagues at Department of Economy and International Labor Organization. UNOCHAMatteo Minasi Agriculture is one of the most important industries in Ukraine. What is absolutely important is that the programs are evidence-based. We need to develop programs that respond to concerns of Ukrainians abroad when they consider returning and the problems that people who have already returned face in reintegrating and transitioning into labor market. We can also learn from earlier post-war scenarios.